All right, folks. I know that was like a super abrupt stop to the music there, but let us get started and talk about crypto because it's a super fun topic to talk about, and just Web3 in general. And I know you all can't see me at the moment, but you will in just about a minute here. Hang on tight. Also drop some emotes in the chat so that I know all the folks that are watching are watching. Hello, I'm back again. I literally left for like 2 seconds and then I came back. Yes, it is Anuhya. Oh my God, like you didn't know that. All right, enough sarcasm there. But let us get started. Oh, wait. So how are you all doing, by the way? I feel like it's obligatory. I don't know how to speak English at the moment. My point being is I feel like a lot of you are probably up late. I want to know, where in the world are you talking to me from? And yeah. All right. Are we ready to talk some crypto and blockchain and some databases and some tech in general? Well, I'm ready to get started. Without further ado, hello. Also, my slides look weird. Why is that? I don't know why that is. Also, do you all hear a lot of background noise, or is it not too background noisy? Yes, no? Let me know if it is too much of background noise. It's all right. Okay. Give me one moment. BRB. All right, I am back. All right, and I totally just left stream there for a second. I love all the technical issues I am facing today. I apologize, folks. Oh my.
What a day it's been. But hi, everyone. I'm Anuhya from Major League Hacking, and I'm super excited to be here with all of you. And I sound like I'm doing my opening ceremony for a hackathon right now, but instead, we are going to be talking about crypto and blockchain. So to get started, without further ado, here are my slides. Does everyone see my slides? Yes, 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 yes. We didn't just start over. You are right. We totally just started over. Yes. So, great. Everyone can see my slides. We're good. We're ready to get going. Everyone has our coffee, I presume, if you're up late at 4 a.m. watching this stream, or, whatever gets you going throughout the day. But you all know me as Anuhya from MLH, but recently I started working for a company called Stellar. And Stellar is essentially a blockchain company that I have started working for recently, right? That has been about 3 days, and I did this presentation. I felt like I worked really hard on this presentation for them, and they felt very much like they can hire me because of this presentation. So I feel like I can totally teach all of you how to talk about blockchain, in general, without even having without even knowing how to code. And so I say this because it's basically, hold on. I see, whoa, 3 days. 3 days for what? I'm curious. So basically, what I'm trying to get at here is that I myself actually don't know much about blockchain, which is funny because I can talk about blockchain really well because I work as a developer relations, community manager, engineer, that sort of thing. But being able to do this, I essentially have learned how to talk about blockchain, which is what I'm going to talk to you all about right now as well. So are we ready to get started? Correct? Yes, I just saw the viewership count just go up. So 3 days of nonstop streams. Yes, you are absolutely right. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start talking about give me one moment. So before we get started on that, we're going to talk about what Stellar is. So the Stellar Development Foundation is basically SDF for short, is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 2014 to support development and growth of the open source Stellar network. So with Stellar, SDF seeks to unlock the world's economic potential by making more fluid markets, more open source, more open, and people more empowered, right? It's right now our industry makes a lot of money off of transaction fees, essentially. And so this foundation helps maintain Stellar's code base and supports the technical businesses and provides basically leadership to regulators and other stakeholders. So everything SDF does is aimed at making the network as a whole succeed. Okay? So you say you've been working for only 3 days and this place, so that's why I was surprised. Yes, you are absolutely right. So I think I gave the background on this presentation is this was a presentation that got me hired at this company. So yeah. Because I could talk about Stellar in that sense. So yes, we're gonna practice. So because I have to do this presentation multiple other times in the future. So today's payment landscape is basically fragmented. So each payment has to go through several intermediaries to go from point A to point B, and this impacts people and businesses worldwide. So the impacting of businesses and people worldwide is, one, it's slow. It's fragmented. Standards mean payments can take days. It's expensive, right? The global average fee for spending on remittance payment was approximately 6.5% in 2021, where fees in some of these countries can be greater than 10%. And it actually affects the most of people that can use the money. It's like you're targeting the people that actually need the money and you're going to take more money away from them. And talk about the size of 200 being an average, right? And it's inequitable. At its worst, the current financial system leaves out millions of people who don't have access to traditional financial infrastructure. A lot of underserved countries don't actually have access to the good banking systems that many of us are privileged to have, such as I can literally just Venmo my friends money. A lot of countries don't have that. Or India, for example, you can pay TM your friends, right? And fintech is such a growing industry right now because there's a lot of underserved countries where they just don't have these infrastructures in place. And this is where blockchain can come into play, and crypto, and so on and so forth. So blockchain technology is challenging us to think about money and value in a new way, presenting the opportunity to make it better, more effective, and efficient. So, making it possible to send value to someone without needing to trust as an intermediary, right? It's like, oh, like I'm going to send money to my grandma in India. So, a little anecdote here, right? So, my grandma called me about a week ago being like, oh, Amu, like it's so cold here, it's like freezing. And I'm like, oh no, like I want to do something about that. And I wanted to go on Amazon and immediately order her a quick heater. That way it's there for her in India. But the reality of it is I can't simply just go order on Amazon India unless I have an Indian bank account, which I don't, right? So I had to instead go hit my friend up in India and be like, hey, can you order this on Amazon? I'll transfer money over to your PayPal. All these middle people, right? And what if Amazon just took crypto? Man, it would make my life so much easier, right? So basically, this entire network allows us to remove that intermediary person. So ever since she was freezing, so you minted Bitcoin, you mined Bitcoin on her machine till it caught fire. Maybe you should get an Indian bank account. Okay, fair. All right, you all are correct about these statements, which I will shortly, okay? Anyways, back to the regularly scheduled here. So it basically allows us to remove all these intermediaries, right? Ever since an anonymous individual or an entity called Satoshi, I can't say his name, Satoshi Nakamoto, there we go, wrote the first white paper on Bitcoin, white paper on Bitcoin network back in 2009. Different blockchain networks have started and innovated on technology for their specific use case. To name a few examples, we have Bitcoin, which is a network created to only send and trade Bitcoin currency. Ethereum, which was built to become another internet-style network or a world computer with its own programming language, which is what makes Ethereum so popular and so unique, that theoretically allows you to create any kind of program inside of the Ethereum network. And Stellar here is meant to create, storing, and trading and sending digital representations of all kinds of value. So there we go. Yes. Satoshi. There we go. I know. I need to be able to, if I'm going to say that I'm working for this company, I need to learn how to say his name. This entity, Satoshi Nakamoto. But yes. So going back to Stellar was founded in 2014 after Bitcoin, but before Ethereum actually. So fairly new. I love how Karan has, so Karan says that I should watch anime to learn how to say the name. A little bit of a backstory. Karan has been trying to get me to watch anime for the longest time, and I would not budge. But I just finished watching one episode of anime. Anyways, totally. I did start with Attack on Titans. All right, we're getting off topic here. I'm going to get back to anime shortly. So Stellar was found after Bitcoin, before Ethereum, and it handles millions of transactions each day submitted by businesses, banks, governments, and developers around the world. So the network uses an environmentally friendly syncing mechanism specifically designed for remittances and payments. So it has like cash-like delays between transactions, and it's more or less free to use. Transactions cost way less than a penny. Remember how I said they are super expensive? Well, as I mentioned, blockchain is made for transferring valuable data without having to go through these intermediaries, right? This data could be anything really. But since the incentive to alter data is very strong in financial systems, it is often used for transfer of money, or more popularly known, cryptocurrencies, right? So Bitcoin, the network, has Bitcoin, Ethereum has Ether, Stellar has XLM, and also called Lumens as its native asset. So on Stellar, you can issue your own assets. So like other networks, Stellar allows you to create a redeemable, tradable representation of any asset and trade them very easily within the network. anyone can create assets. For example, I can create a cryptocurrency called Anuhya coin or Blahaj coin. You got to be on point with local hack day. In minutes, literally. For example, I could use Anuhya coin as a community token. I could grow its value by putting on the market, and it could be an in-game token, literally anything of value where I don't need a license for it, right? So Anuhya can buy me a Blahaj with Stellar. Is this what that's supposed to mean? Potentially, or Ryan coin. Ryan coin has a lot of value, and it can literally buy quite. We need to start you know what this hackathon has told me? We need to start an MLH crypto Web3 situation with minting NFTs from Anuhya's Pictionary sessions, and Ryan coins is what this network would be based on. And I think we should really pitch this idea to Swift and see where this goes. So basically, anyone could create these assets, right? So once issued, assets can be stored on the Stellar account directly or on the blockchain, not managed by central authorities such as a bank, but an individual who owns the key to their account. So it kind of puts the power back in the users, right? So Web3 is all about putting the power back in the user, which is really interesting, right? So some other examples of non-fiat currencies are currencies are cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether, right? Security tokens like stocks, bonds, real estate, and real-world commodities like gold, actually. So utility tokens like in-platform tokens or credits, and even NFTs, short for non-fungible tokens, which are used to represent digital art and similar items, right? For example, my gorgeous digital art from earlier this stream of us creating Pictionary. So can you take Ether ETH out of the crash LMAO? Just when I thought it would grow, it dropped harder than Hardwell. Let's not talk about crypto crashes right now. Okay, I don't know if any of you have seen this tweet, but I think I believe this. But apparently the crypto market is somehow connected to the moon cycles. So if anyone wants to take a look at that and explore the data on that, I highly recommend it. Not at all talking like go buy crypto or anything. Anuhya suffered quite a bit with the crypto crash. you might be speaking some facts there. So Lightmint here is a South Korean-based company called Lightmint, which enables creators to mint NFTs on Stellar in less than 2 minutes for a very small cost and put them on the marketplace for sale. Conspiracy theories with Anuhya's with Anuhya Chalgama, you might be right. Her grandma's even colder now. You might be right about that. And this is really cool because it has a lot more inclusive than NFT platforms built using other blockchains, where it can cost several $100s to mint NFTs. And then we have, hold on, here we go. And then we have asset tokenization on Stellar. But unlike almost all other blockchain systems, Stellar can connect to real-world endpoints so people can turn their digital representations of money into something they can actually spend, which allows businesses, banks, governments, and developers all over the world to build these products and solve real-world problems for their users. Stellar also makes it possible to represent the world's currencies in the form of digital fiat tokens, on one decentralized ledger where they can all interoperate quite freely. So an example of fiat tokens are CBDCs or central bank digital currencies, which are being explored by governments and central banks around the world, and stablecoins such as USDC and digital dollars backed by one-on-one by fully reserved assets. So these fiat-backed tokens are issued by regulated financial institutions, money service businesses, or fintech companies that we call anchors in the Stellar vernacular. So the important term here is anchors. So let's talk about anchors. So anchors connect the existing financial system with Stellar by serving as on and off ramps for the network. So essentially, a user obtains a Stellar network asset by depositing traditional currency with an anchor using traditional rails. They can then hold that asset in the Stellar wallet or app, use it to make payments or trade for other assets on the network. So anchors maintain fiat reserves equivalent to the value of issued tokens. So users can redeem them back to the fiat at any time. So when people hold that token, they can treat them just like traditional money because they know that they're redeemable for the traditional money at the end. Make sense? So, the crypto market crashes. I don't sell because I hope it's going to go up eventually. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's money. It's real money that is valuable and tradable, right? So, which stands for USD coin, right? So USDC is the world's fastest growing USD stable coin. So USDC is issued by regulated financial institutions, right? Which allows us to, give me one moment. What slide are we seeing here? I think we're good. All right, so Stellar had a USDC partnership presented by Advantageous that attracted new players to the network, like MoneyGram, actually. So MoneyGram and Stellar had worked together where they bridged between the digital assets and local currencies for consumers. And it was announced in 2021, so fairly recently. And MoneyGram is integrating with the Stellar network and facilitating payments through Stellar USDC to enable cash in and cash out and local currencies for consumers, using USDC as a bridge between different currencies with near instant settlement. So, oh yeah, please, I am not a financial advisor. If you put a paycheck into the Doge and lose all of your current did, I can't be held responsible. Yeah, folks, I'm not a financial advisor either. I don't know why I'm giving that disclaimer. I'm not telling anyone to buy crypto or anything. Please don't. I mean, please do if you feel like it, but my point being is we're going to learn about crypto. Anuhya is a financial advisor. Great. Anuhya is not a financial advisor. There we go. I know a lot about crypto. I know a lot about stocks and whatnot. I'm happy to talk, but I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know if I know a lot, but I know enough. But basically, MoneyGram allows us to build that bridge between really just makes payments easy within the crypto world, right? In the future, the more we look at it, it's like our focus isn't about the investing. Like right now, crypto and Web3 is all about, oh, how do I put money into crypto and how do I make it grow? Like that's what the main focus and the main talk in the industry is. But basically, it's also very important that in the future of Web3, we have to think more in the sense that how do you really understand payments? How can we make our lives easier through payments? And financially, there's just fintech, right? Financial technology is the next growing industry. In the past, I worked for an AI-based fintech startup, and it's all going to come hand in hand in the future where it's not just about investing money and making more money off of crypto, but actually using crypto and putting crypto into real life situations, as Stellar has done with MoneyGram here in this situation. So next, we have Vibrant, which is a dollar saving app. Vibrant is an app that gives people in Argentina inflation beating tools by providing the ability to convert their savings into USDC. In the past few years, the inflation rate for Argentina has reached more than 50%. That's an absurd number, right? So with Vibrant, they can protect that value of their salary from devaluation, and safeguard long-term value and have goals for the future, essentially. So basically, these are the real life situations that we can see crypto being used. Also, I'm gonna stop trolling for a sec and say, DYOR, do your own research. Don't invest in anything you don't understand inside and out. Absolutely agree with that. So in addition to tracking balances, as Bitcoin and Ethereum do, Stellar also tracks and settles trades in a decentralized, ownerless way. It has common built-in other order books and pool orders to buy or sell assets that use the same model as traditional exchanges. It also has liquidity pools, which allows users to deposit assets into the reserves of an automated market maker. Automated market makers, or AMMs, for short, executes trades programmatically based on an underlying formula. So, underlying formula, and sorry, I lost my train of thought here. But basically, what we're trying to achieve here is that automated market makers are like basically that every single token on Stellar is exchangeable, with every other token on the network, and Stellar Protocol itself connects buyers and sellers with each other. We're talking about connections between buyers, sellers, and all these protocols that are involved in the decentralized exchange among the automatic market makers. So users can basically submit their bids or ask to public networks or deposit into a liquidity pool via a single simple operation, and every ledger closed. So compatible trades will automatically resolve without use of the intermediaries. The goal here is to kick the intermediaries out, right? Because they just take so much money up. So as I mentioned earlier in my talk, Stellar was created for payments, and specifically cross-border payments, such as personal remittances, right? So if I want to send money to my grandma in India because I don't want her freezing, that's why this comes into play, right? So each year, over 500 billion of value is transferred across border through personal remittances, right? People are like, oh, I'm going to spend all this money, send all this money across the world. So sending costs can exceed up to 10% when transferring money to people in developing economies. That's crazy. A lot of developing economies actually need this money, right? And you're like, oh, no, I'm going to take all this money from you because I can. And that's where we're coming into it, right? So sending costs can exceed in that range, and Stellar can reduce that friction and costs associated with traditional MTOs, correspondent banks, and financial payment rails and anchors on the network take care of that deposit, redemptions, and compliance. So these crypto companies, what they are able to do is basically they can take care of that transaction fees. So we have two fintech companies here, ARF, which is a cross-border settlement provider, and Tempo, money transfer operator, which uses Stellar payment via the Stellar network from Europe to the Philippines, which is really cool. So integral to this new Tempo and ARF corridor is the Stellar USDC, which I mentioned earlier. Remember the stablecoin? So to form these new corridors, Tempo actually has to, here, one second, let me make sure. Yeah, Tempo actually has to accept that €5 from senders, and it converts it into the Stellar USDC. Then ARF facilitates that movement of Stellar USDC for Tempo to a local payout partner in the Philippines for conversion to the local fiat on the receiving side. So basically, there's that little intermediary, but it's just a Stellar network, which is a decentralized network, right? And that's on the receiving side in Philippines. So these technologies can basically solve issues for people and for businesses. So I love this comment here where it's like Adam's like, so what are your thoughts on Anuhya, the latest and the greatest NFT? Yeah, y'all, totally invest in Anuhya. Invest in Blahaj. Hey, Jack, how are you? So moving on here, we then have reality bits. Honestly, can we have a Blahaj? Can we have a Blahaj NFT? Why doesn't that exist? I feel like that would make so much money. Like Blahaj minted NFTs. I just had an idea. There you go. Yeah. No, can we talk post stream, Jack, on a Blahaj NFT here? So Reality Bets here is another company which as a marketplace infrastructure provides for a private asset investing. So it connects verified sponsors and investors to directly transact with each other in a secure and compliant way. So as we can see, a lot of this is about transactions. A lot of this is about removing that middle intermediary. So after identifying pain points affecting investors and sponsors, Reality Bits actually landed on Stellar as a solution to power their hybrid on-chain and off-chain system. So then we have Leaf Global Fintech, another really cool fintech company, which is currently their customers are mostly refugees in Rwanda who typically don't have a bank account. And these people no longer are needing to carry cash, which can be dangerous, especially when crossing borders. Instead, they can keep their money securely in the Leaf wallet. Fintech, folks, fintech. And once someone has a place to hold your value, you can then think of diversifying it, which is really cool. So, and DSTOQ is also a fintech company that uses and sells offers on the Stellar decentralized exchange to allow users to obtain stock. So its goal is to make investing accessible and affordable for people in emerging markets like Vietnam and South Africa through the borderless digital interface for security tokens built on the Stellar network, right? This creates the opportunity for emerging markets to access financial products that have never had access to before, right? Which can improve the lives of millions of people while simultaneously creating exciting new business opportunities. So that's my TLDR on all the fintech companies that are emerging through like the real world situations that we can see within the crypto market, right? It's not just about investing in crypto, it's actually about putting crypto to good use. And removing that borders among various different companies. So how do you actually get started on Stellar? I talk a lot about Stellar, but we just went through what Stellar is and how it works and looked at a few companies where Stellar is used today. But what about you? Do you want to build a cool project? I'm sure, and that's what we're going to do. So I have a little idea here. Maybe, I don't know if we'll get around to it. I don't know how much time. Let me do a quick time check. Crap, I spoke a lot, and I spoke for a very long time. So we're running low on time here. But anyways, I'm going to keep going for the next 20 minutes. And if we get around to it, I wanted to have to create an MLH sort of like a basic Blahash coin, essentially, is what I wanted to show. But I don't know if I'll get around to it. But basically, you may think that we're not a financial institution and what can I do with Stellar, right? So basically, you can plug into the world of Stellar assets. It's super easy. And the beauty of Stellar is that you don't have to have an issue asset to build it. You can also build an app that offers users. Are these slides posted anywhere? I'll post them after if you're interested. I didn't know if people would be interested, but if you're interested, happy to. That makes me happy that you're interested. So you don't have to issue an asset to build it, basically. Super easy in that sense that you can build an app that offers users access to the assets other organizations issue. So you can take advantage of a suite of APIs and use Stellar as a backend that allows users to store, trade, transfer value, and you can even leverage existing and compliant access points to offer in-app connections to the real-world currencies so your users can get on and off the network easily. So you can plug in to the world of the Stellar assets, right? And your app, in other words, you can incorporate with anchor services. Remember the anchors that we were talking about, the base that holds everything down. It's pretty powerful if you're a startup, a student, or even just, a regular developer with a great idea. Developing on the Stellar is super easy. You don't need to learn an entirely new language. You can just start building, right? So here's some Stellar documentation. It's open source. It supports common development languages. We have SDKs like JavaScript, Python, pretty comprehensive. So it's easy and accessible to get started. Developers can also quickly build and operate on the network due to an inherent functionality and expansive support resources. Literally, we have a whole community. So Stellar is open source. So go build. It's pretty cool. So I might as well show comments here. So Stellar is open source and it is pretty cool. Yes. So developers, so overall, what I'm saying is Stellar is open source. You can build and literally anyone can build, and you can pick it up right now and build your own product and you can just add into it. So let us see. Next up, we have the Stellar stack itself is basically SDKs are connected to the Stellar REST API called Horizon, which handles queries and converts Stellar. We're going to get a little too technical in here. So it basically handles queries and converts Stellar core network data into a friendly format and serves the bridge between apps and Stellar core. So basically, when you're developing on Stellar, you can, for the most part, forget about what's going on under the hood and use that REST API to submit transactions and queries and network data. So it's pretty cool, pretty straightforward. Stellar API is called Horizon. I see wordplay here, and I tip my hat. Yes, Stellar's API is called Horizon. And to make it a little bit more concrete, we're actually going to take a look at the UI and make it easy to interact with and with the stack here. I am running low on time, so I don't know how much I can actually go through all of the Stellar laboratory and everything. but it's a super easy interface here. The Stellar Laboratory is a handy tool that you can use to build here. Let's see. You can even use it to query all the Horizon endpoints. So if you just honestly Google Stellar Laboratory, you can see it. Let me see if I can. I really wish I had more time right now. I'm sorry, folks. Hold on. All right, I'm going to get through the wallet and everything. So I would show you the Stellar Laboratory here if I had more time and we would actually build through like the Stellar Sandbox. Actually, here. For those who might be interested in some cool hackathon resources, let me pull it up in the meantime. In the meantime, let's talk about something other than Stellar for the second. All right, here we go. Yeah, there we go. That's laboratory.stellar.com. Oh, wait, I was trying to share this hackathon resource sheet that I have for Stellar. But there you go. So that's a resource sheet. It's a Notion. Basically, you have all the ecosystem tools if you were interested in building and getting an intro to Stellar. Also, we have a really cool thing where basically it's you can earn NFTs. It's called Stellar Quest. If anyone's ever done like the Twilio challenges, things like that, it's kind of similar. But Stellar does it super puzzly, so it's really fun where you can actually build and like on the Stellar Quest, like go through the quest and you actually earn NFTs, which hold value, like genuine value. So totally recommend it. I'm just trying to, yep, here we go. This is Stellar Quest. So with the quest, you can basically learn the tech of Stellar and actually win awards. So I definitely recommend it. And there's like 4 series of practice quests, and you can also do live series. It's super competitive and it's really fun to do it. So yeah. I'm going to wrap it up here for the time being, just because I think that I am low on time. But questions so far though, folks, on like crypto, blockchain. So the biggest takeaway here is blockchain is a decentralized network. And currently in the fintech industry, we have this entire like push to actually make crypto not just like an investment sort of thing, but more like putting it in everyday use cases and actually building using Ethereum or building with Stellar. Stellar is an open source network. You can build with Polygon. There's various other, Solana is another really cool one. But yeah, I love this comment. Have you heard of this thing called Miami Hack Week, Anuhya? Yes, I totally have. And yeah, no, I'll be at Miami Hack Week. If anyone's in Miami or in that Florida area, you should definitely check out Miami Hack Week. It's a super fun Web3 hackathon, and it's going to be pretty wild from what I'm understanding. It's Miami, so I'm expecting it to be wild. But also COVID crazy, so I'm a little worried, but it'll be fun. But yes, I'll be going to Miami Hack Week, and I'm super excited about it. And Stellar Part 2, maybe, I don't know. Mary, you wanna hook me up with Stellar Part 2? Mary or Ryan, if you're watching and you think I can present more on Stellar, I'm happy to build a Blahaj coin out and show off local hack day. That's what I had planned. But that's a wrap, folks. Any questions about blockchain, crypto, NFTs, the buzzwords these days? No? Yes, no, maybe so. I just talked a lot about Stellar there. I wish I'd made this a bit more interactive. I'm sorry, folks, for that. I should have made it more interactive. Oops. Yes, I am Ryan and I'm watching. Oh no, Karan, did you like kidnap Ryan? You're good to go for part 2? I wish. But all right, folks, that is a wrap on this stream. I think next up we have Hannah is actually coming on stream, and she's doing a Hannah part 2. Maybe I should request for an Anuhya part 2, but that's a wrap, folks. And I will see you all around Local Hack Day, and be sure to check out the resources that I provided. Those actually have the slide deck as well, so you can take a look there. But yeah, thanks everyone. Bye.